Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Pause the video right now to check out my social media, my radio show, and thatdrummerguy.com. And most of all, enjoy the following presentation.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you again. I know it's been a few years since I was able to talk to you in Minnesota, but it's great to be able to catch up after all this time.
Yeah, but you see that I'm younger, right?
Oh, yeah.
Way younger than when we met last time.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah.
And Jesper, great to meet you as well. I thank you guys very much for taking the time to do this interview.
Yeah, of course.
But det var nog det jag tänkte. Sorry, it says Josh, that drummer guy.
Yes.
I thought that was a magazine, so it was like weird. Are we gonna do an interview for a drum magazine? But it was just your username.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jake knows a little bit about that as well. That was actually a name that was given to me back when I used to be in cover bands because people in the crowd didn't want to learn my name was Josh, so they said that I was that drummer guy that they saw up on the stage, so I kind of just took that form.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting though. Just now, as we're here, before we start, we have like a minute. I'm just gonna try to see where the hell the fucking mixer is.
Oh, sure.
Sound.
Tycker du är för lågt?
No, it's just I kan inte. We're in my studio, but we're on my laptop because funny enough, vad gör du? Max. Funny enough, I realized that I have no webcam in the studio, so I can't use the real mic or the monitors, so it echoes a little bit for us, but it doesn't matter. Does it?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that needs to be changed on your end before we start up, that's totally fine. If not, I'm good to go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
All right,
We have clean.
Oh, awesome.
We eat chocolate. That's very healthy for you. New discoveries.
Oh yes, it can definitely help. Well, awesome. Well, again, thank you guys very much for taking time to be able to do this. Once I found out that you guys were going to be starting a band together, I couldn't have been more excited because I've been a huge fan of everything that you guys have done in the past. I mean, whether it was In Flames or Amaranth or any of your previous endeavors. So the fact that you guys were able to get together and start a brand new project, which is easily already one of my favorite albums of the year so far, and I know it's going to rank very high near the top. I mean, it's an honor to be able to talk to you guys about this.
Thank you.
We're really flattered to hear that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, like, I grew up with In Flames. I discovered Amaranth from the first North American run, and, you know, just like being a huge fan of your guitar playing and a huge fan of Jake's vocals, I mean, it's a winning combination.
Yeah, it's really you know all the answers, so
you already know. Yeah, bye.
Well, it was great catching up. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.
We're really excited to hear that because we had no idea how the reactions was gonna be when we released. We haven't released the album yet, but even the Karma single was, for me, I couldn't sleep for 2 days before it was released because I didn't know it was, are we doomed or people gonna like this, you know. But it was very well received.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that too, and it's a great way to start off the album too. I mean, just like from the right away, being able to hear like your guitar riffing on there. I mean, it's so obviously you.
Yeah, I also wanted to be able to say thank you for the first thing that you said, that you really like the album and you it's one of the best albums of this year. It's that means a lot to us because we put so much energy into this, and hearing that from journalists is something that means extremely a lot for us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be of service when it comes to that, and I gotta thank you guys for like putting in this much effort because it is so easy to be able to like put a haphazard, you know, like album out that's not with your whole heart into it. But I can tell you guys really wanted to make an album like this, and you're really putting all your passion behind it. So when I can tell that you are putting putting in that much effort behind it, I'm able to appreciate it that much more.
Thank you.
So, just to get the basics on here, for anyone that may not know, how did this whole band come to be?
Oh, the funniest question ever.
Again,
you can take the story. I just want to say that I did an interview a couple of days ago, and I was laughing a little bit about this story or this question. But I also said that finally it's funny to talk about this question again, because like in any other band you've been with and you've been together for 5 years, and you meet someone like, how did the band start? You know, then you wanted to kill someone, but of course now we're in a brand new state, brand new band. Now we have to tell you about it, and we're really eager to do, because it's a funny story. So over to Jesper.
Right.
Well, I don't want to say it's a funny story. It's like funny, but I known Jake since he was working with Pyrotechnics with In Flames. So we had some stuff to discuss. So I called him up because I was on a train on my way home from my former girlfriend. So we met for coffee, and then we haven't seen each other for
6 months, maybe?
at least 6 months.
Yeah.
And we were talking for hours, and then we were like, Jake said, I want to do a solo album. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm working on, because I don't have anything now. And I wanted Jake to sing on my solo album. And Jake said that he would like me to contribute for his solo album. And then when we came to influences, sound-wise, like it was 100% almost the same. So it was like, why should we I sit there and he sits there, and we do two solo albums. We should put our talent together.
Yeah, he actually stood up. He actually stood up like this, like.
Yeah, but you and me. No, we form a band. 3 days later, we had the title track of the record.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We did not have a name for it yet back then, but
No.
the first song that we ended up to write was the song that ended up to be the title track of the album, the letter to myself song.
Yeah. Also the next single.
Yeah, also the next single. It's released next Friday, I think.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I was gonna ask if that particular song was gonna be featured as a single, because it's a great way to show off, along with Karma, just being able to show off the different sides of the band, and I think that's a great track to be able to show off next.
Yeah, exactly, because in Karma you hear some similarities and some signum and things from us as both songwriters and guitar players and so on, while Letter to Myself shows a completely different side. Like, this is Cyhra, this is how we sound, and like it has a sound of its own, which I really, really like.
And speaking of that, I mean, when being able to form these songs so quickly together, I mean, how did it come about with choosing the name Cyhra for the band name?
Yeah, we didn't choose the name Cyhra, we chose the name Cyhra.
Oh, Cyhra.
That can be so hard.
I'm sorry, I'm American.
Yeah, me too.
No offense.
No offense at all
to you. But it's many people ask, how do you pronounce it? And Cyhra, of course. How? But maybe it's not that obvious.
Maybe not. Whatever. It was just a silly joke from me. Amaranth and Amaranth. So we had three different. Amarante. Yeah, in Japan it was the funniest. Amarante.
Yeah, my old band, In Frames.
In Frames. Yeah.
In Frames. Please relax. Tomorrow, great show.
Fantastic. Yeah. Why we chose the name Cyhra was it's also a funny story. We had a band name that we're not going to reveal ever. Maybe in our biography or whatever it's called when we release a book in 20 years. But we had a band name. We were really, really satisfied with it, and we were almost about to reveal it when I was down in Jacob Hansen's studio producing another album, and accidentally I saw this folder on his computer with our band name on, and I asked Jacob, like, have I sent you stuff? And he was like, no. Why do you ask? Like, what's this folder? Ah, that's a German band. They were here last week recording. They're releasing their brand new album, blah, blah, blah. So I called Jesper up and I said, sorry, dude, but we have to change the name.
And that was actually when the band started growing. The moniker was growing on us, and we were like, yeah, so this feels good now. And then, oops, we have to change.
Yeah, we're fucked. But anyhow, we were throwing ideas back and forth, and one of the ideas that came were Cyhra, and it was actually Jesper that stopped up and sent it back. I'm like, I like this.
The Cyhra, this for some reason it was just
obvious choice for you.
It's just a beautiful word, and it tastes good in your mouth. I think if you can.
Yeah, and it looks cool.
Yeah. So in retrospect, I think that that we had to change name was a lucky shot in the end.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the logo, I think the logo is so cool.
Yeah, and I should also mention before I forget, because I forgot it in the booklet, the logo is done by the singer in Ember Falls, so he should have some credits. No, I made the first thing, and then I sent it to him because he's a graphical designer to shape it up.
Let's buy him a beer in Helsinki.
Yes, we have to.
And also, what's gonna someday will be revealed.
Yes.
Is how Karma came to be, so to speak. That's a funny story.
Yeah, it is a funny story, but we're not going to tell you that one right now.
It's like it's almost a little offensive actually. Yeah, someday.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see how happy you guys are being able to talk about this band, the recording process and everything. I mean, it's such a great thing to see how passionate you guys are about all this, and how it was able to come together seemingly so easy. I mean, just being able to be together for a few days and being able to already start getting the full-fledged songs together, and then getting the full lineup, getting the band names, the logos, everything going together. I mean, it just feels like this was a natural fit.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy, we have had one fight in our lives so far, and that was about peanut butter or something, like something completely.
No, and he said he hate Van Halen. And I was genuinely angry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's so. I was like, how childish am I? Everyone has their opinion, of course. But it's like you can't dislike Van Halen. It's like a fact. It's just a fact that Van Halen is a great band.
Yeah, I've been drinking tequila together with what's his name?
Sam Hagar.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Well, I played Texas Hold'em with the guy from what's his name from Alice in Chains, Chris Cornell, the guitar player.
Yeah, I have more Lego than you.
I have more Grammys.
Yeah, fuck! You always have one thing on me, and that's the fucking Grammys. He has 4. Yeah, I have none. Actually. I have a nomination.
Oh. Well,
for an album.
Despite the no love for Van Halen on your side, I mean, it's great to see that you guys are able to get along so well. I mean, like, when it came into the songwriting process, I mean, did you guys both have like the same idea of what direction you wanted to work with together, or did that take a bit to figure out?
Jesper had this idea of a song that I disliked, and I was like, Norway, Norway, and I didn't like it, and then but no.
Oh, we skipped that one. No, but actually, the songwriting is the least of our problem, and we discovered that pretty early. That every time I come here to the studio, I can take the guitar and play around, and Big starts to sing something around it, and then we have started the song process. Same if he plays something on the keyboard, and I'm like, that's great. What are you playing? I'm just playing around. Okay, let's do a song because it sounds amazing, And so the songwriting was very easy process.
I
we had one, and that wasn't even a fight. It was just a mild argument about where the kick drum should be, like here or there. That's it, more or less.
I completely agree. And the funny fact with the way that we wrote the song was that I think that we picked each other's self-confidence up every day, because I'm so used of like sitting with something on the keyboard and no one will ever notice what I'm doing, and I myself think that it sucks, so I'm just throwing it away. And Jesper comes in and tells me like, that's great. And I did the same with Jesper, because like Jesper also played something like, that's just shit, and I was like, no, we have to keep that. And I think that was really, really good, because I think we built we helped building ourselves up in the whole process.
Yeah. As I said, first of all, it's like such an honor to work with one of the best singers in the world. I mean, I'm like, sometimes when we did the demos, it's like, I love you. I love you. You're the fucking best singer I ever heard. You nail it on the first take every time, and also Jake got me also to all of a sudden I could write. I could get my feelings on paper, because it's a kind of personal record about addiction, and it's quite dark lyrics, and so I was writing a lot of stuff that then Jake adapted to lyrics. I was helping out here, like a word here and there, and came up with some titles, but I don't take the credit for the lyrics. But I had never been able to put my feelings on paper, so to speak.
Thank you very much for saying good things like that.
Yeah, but it's true, and also it took Jake like 2 weeks because he was shaking all the time and sweaty hand palms, because to be in the same room as a legend like me was like but after two and a half weeks it calmed down. Like, you're not levitating, you're just a regular guy. But I hope you understand that was irony.
Oh, of course.
Actually, the funny thing with this irony is that a lot of it is true, because even though we've been friends for a lot of years, it still got me goosebumps so many times when Jesper was sitting here playing, and I brought myself back being the 17-year-old me, the guy that took his own last lunch money to go down to Gothenburg, because I didn't live there then, and to see In Flames. And they were my heroes back then, and all of a sudden, like 10 years, 15 years later, I sit writing songs with this mastermind. So like, it's irony, but with some truth in it, actually.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I was just...
And he actually levitates.
You mortals. No, but for real, I was just joking.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't.
No.
Well, I can say, at least from like my perspective, it's like being able to do like an interview from home and everything, I can be very stuff like that, especially when I am talking to people that have influenced me so much in my own musical career and bands that meant so much to me. So I can totally understand that from both ways. I mean, when you have admiration for each other, whether it's a band that you grew up with, or you just been friends with each other, or you just admire each other's music, I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of that nervousness going on. But I mean, it's great to see that. I mean, like the mashing of these two things combined are able to make such great music together with you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's we really just to mention a quite funny paradox about that is that I once 3 years ago I wanted to take guitar lessons from Olaf from Amaranth, because technically I wanted to learn some of his skills.
Yeah,
but he is influenced by me. So it's like that's what I call a paradox.
Yeah, that's an absolute paradox.
It's weird.
Because the funny fact, the paradox continues into the fact that if In Flames would never have had existed, Amaranth would never have had existed, because there was so much that we used from In Flames when we started Amaranth, like the songwriting skills. So we looked a lot to Jesper's songwriting already back then. So It was, that's like it is. I'm going to refill my coffee. Ask the next question. You want more coffee? You have coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, again, it's great to see the chemistry between both of you guys, but obviously there's got to be some more members to the band to be able to make it a complete lineup. How were you able to complete the lineup for the band?
It was really good. It was really, really easy. There's an app called Tinder.
Yeah. No. It's called Grindr. Grindr is called.
And when you're on Tinder, I've never used it myself, but when you're on Tinder, you just put, "Hi, my name is," and I'm in a band, and like everyone is swiping to whatever side it is. That was really easy.
But we use Grindr as well.
Grindr? What the fuck is Grindr?
Yeah, you know what Grindr is, right?
I do know what Grindr is, yes.
Yeah, it's an app for gays to hook up.
Okay.
Yeah, same idea as Tinder.
Alex told me about it.
Yeah, he knows everything about that app. He was one of the developers, actually.
Yeah. No, I see that we're running out of time. We only have 10 minutes left. But it went like this. From the beginning, we were not really meant to. We didn't really know if we were going to call the album Jake and Jesper, or Jesper and Jake, or JJ, or
a project, or
just writing songs, or were we going to sell the songs to someone else, or we were just writing songs. And but then when we figured out, like, no, we probably want to have some musicians on this, I told Jesper that there's a guy called Alex, and I didn't really put any effort in like trying to sell him in as the best drummer in the world. I was just saying that he's the best guy in the world. You will love him.
Yeah, we all love him. It's impossible not to love that guy. It is. I have a boy crush on him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, he's just. Yeah, I don't know if you met him.
Not yet, but he is one hell of a drummer. So.
Yeah, he's a hell of a drummer, but he's the nicest person ever. I bet that he hates us now when we're talking about how great he is, and not telling the world that he's the best drummer in the world, which he also is. But
he was a lucky shot, because I was a little bit worried where he came from. Not Germany. I mean, what kind of style of metal he was playing for. But he's so skilled. So I just gave him some pointers, and he played perfectly after that. Like after those pointers.
Yeah.
It was not like, I'm not a drum Nazi or anything. We gave him freedom to do. But we said that the drums we wanted to have. It's not gonna be like show off. Not too many fills. It's gonna be kind of simple and straightforward rhythm section. And there comes Peter, because Peter is also such an awesome bass player. So luckily we have a rhythm section that's amazing.
Yeah, and when it comes to bass, Peter is, when he knows the song, he never plays it wrong. That's the cool thing with Peter. And
he's T-1000.
Yeah, really.
And so that feels so safe that we have those guys backing us up.
Yeah, not in a backing us up way, but rhythmically for the whole.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Back us up, like on stage.
Yeah, they bring the bottom to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next question.
Oh.
Yeah, but as Jeff Weinfield says, we are not homophobic at all.
Not at all.
No,
we are not making fun of anything. We're just kind of tired. I've been up all night. Then I've been sitting doing a tattoo for the first time in 2 years, and then I came here. So. I'm kind of speedy, right now.
Oh,
I just had my first cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, it's totally not a problem. I mean, I appreciate having like these great fun conversations rather than me just like reading off a script, not really caring what you guys are saying, and just waiting for you to get done talking so I can ask the next question. I like being able to have this kind of great fun conversation like this.
Of course. This is the way to make an interview, because
I hate those interviews. Like, hi. Tell me about the album, and then it's quiet. And, okay, blah blah blah. We recorded, and then it's like, Okay. And then next, it's like talking to a answering machine sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much
so.
So.
Next,
why synthesizers? Why not sound like Jesper Race? Why? Why clean sing? You clean sing? Why?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like that.
Well, I know we just got a couple minutes left, so I just wanted to make sure I got a couple more questions in here. When it comes
just so you know, if there's any question that you couldn't put in there, you can call me tomorrow, and we could add some more questions if there's a lot of questions that you missed. Just so you know.
Really, I think I just had about like 2 left as far as like the main stuff. Otherwise, I usually just go with the stream of consciousness, going from the conversation. But I know your first show is going to be coming up at the end of the month. What should people expect as far as the set list?
Cyhra is coming, not Cyhra.
No, I mean, the set list will basically be the album because that's the songs we have.
Yeah, exactly.
We were thinking about making, and that's not impossible that we do that to make a tribute to Chester in Linkin Park.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Do a little medley or do a part of song.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. And why we would do that is because Linkin Park was such a major influence on this album for us when we were writing the songs. That was really, really hard for both of us when we heard that he passed away.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, I can also identify with this guy because he had these issues all the time, and like it's almost scary to hear the last album is like his swan song in a bit, and you could hear on 16-year-old albums how he screams for help. And it's horrible. So he's been very, very, for me, important lyrically. Actually, but I know it's not it's not the credibility to listen to like Linkin Park, but I don't give a damn.
Exactly.
Fantastic band.
I like Nickelback.
Yeah, me too. And
there's the Blabbermouth headline for you when that gets taken out of context.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, well, one last thing. I mean, first of all, it's great that you guys are considering doing a tribute to Chester because I'm also a longtime sufferer of depression and stuff like that. So, it's just like with all these fallen musical icons that have fallen within the last few years because of depression, it's like it really hits home for me. So, I mean, the fact that you guys are at least even contemplating doing a tribute like that, I mean, that's really cool to see.
Yeah. Have you had any chance to read the lyrics to our album? Then you would probably recognize you even more in this field because there's a lot of anxiety in the lyrics on the whole album, actually.
Yeah, and that's something I can absolutely relate to.
Yeah,
I reek of anxiety always. So that's a good influence. But I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
that
really.
You have because I know what it's. I know how it is, and it's fucking hard.
Oh. It really is. And, it's like, it can affect anybody. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you do for a living. When depression takes over you, it can destroy your whole life.
Yeah, it can.
And people that doesn't understand the word, they use depression like, oh, I'm so depressed. Why? Because I cracked the display on my iPhone. You're not depressed.
No.
That's a bummer, but it's not depression. Mm-hmm. And I have such an anxiety. Why? I don't know what color I will give my on the tie. I will give my father for fathers. That's not anxiety.
No.
You should be just lucky that you use those terms in that way. I wouldn't give my worst enemy depression or this anxiety. Maybe one or two persons, but I don't.
Okay. One last thing before I let you guys go. I know you guys got a busy press day ahead of you. What should people expect from the band in 2018?
Live shows, festival shows, hopefully a couple of tours, and we can't wait to go out and meet our fans that we hopefully will get from this album.
Yeah, if we have time.